Good blessed Monday afternoon, September the 27th, 2021. It's about 1:50 p.m. I'm here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, up here by the Mississippi County Sheriff Department, where 5 days ago on Wednesday, September the 22nd, 2021, a young I believe he's 28, 26 or 28-year-old black man died under the watch of this sheriff department here, the detention center here in Mississippi County. That was September the 22nd, 5 days ago. Not one statement to the public from the sheriff nor anyone in the sheriff department. But yet, during the Labor Day weekend, which was of 2021, which was September the 5th, 2021, the sheriff, his captain, one of his captains, the chief of police, these faith-based government grant-getting black and white preachers, the commissioners of Mississippi County, all of them, they had a news conference about the shooting that happened in Wilson City, Missouri, in the Wilson City Wyatt area, which is about maybe 7 miles away from Charleston, Missouri. But they tried to say it was gang related, and they said they're gonna get down on the gangs. And they said when things happen to people, family members, how they go and meet with the families. But this young man, he's not the first black that died up in this Mississippi County jail. I want to take you back to, I believe, May the 4th, 2017. Now, the sheriff of this Mississippi County, the head sheriff, him and some of the other individuals that was in his news conference, if you look at it, if you don't have it, I have it, the full thing from the beginning to the end on my YouTube. Now, they was talking about how these gangs, young gangs, but let me tell you what the gangs in that did. It was consist of sheriff deputies in Charleston, Missouri, police officers here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County. When a mentally ill guy supposed to went to the hospital, told him he had mental ill issues, but the unprofessional, untrained police officers brought him to this detention center. The untrained sheriffs and deputies left him in there, seen he had crisis, and started taking him to the hospital where he should have been, not in jail because he hadn't committed a crime. They talking about gangbangers, talking about the black gangs. It was 5 white individuals, 5 white law enforcement officials, including the then sheriff in May of 2017. The young black man was from Tennessee. His name was Tory Sanders. They did him almost like they did George Floyd with the knee on his neck. But it was 4 more of them, led by the then sheriff. And the man died. There wasn't nobody charged with nothing. They used a medical term saying that some type of anxiety attack he had. If he wouldn't have been inside of the jail where he didn't supposed to be, he wouldn't have had an anxiety attack. If they wouldn't have came in there gang banging him, they not only sprayed him with pepper, they shocked him with the tasers, and then they jumped on him. Now, who's a gangbanger? Gangbangers with badges, all white. Ain't no black deputies in this detention center. I wonder what happened to this young brother back then. See, I know the history of some of them. And I'm not telling people to look down on all police and all sheriffs, but I know the chief of police here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, and the sheriff here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County of this Mississippi County Detention Center. I know both of them go to the same church. The coroner go to the same church. Most of the high-ranking white individuals, all of them go to the same church. Now, why haven't nothing been said in 5 days at all to reassure the public, especially the black community, that has relatives inside of this detention center, that their family is safe? We know they gang banging, there wasn't no question about it, but you notice one thing? They didn't have no conference on that. They didn't tell the other 4 individuals, the sheriff deputies and the Charleston, Missouri police officer, but I'm gonna tell you, some of the Charleston, Missouri police officers that was in on gang banging Tory Sanders on May the 4th, 2017, inside of this jail where he died, they still working at the Charleston, Missouri Police Department. And some of you black folks in here, you look up to them. You see what I'm saying? You need to do some research and see who was in there when that guy was murdered, but they didn't charge him with murder. But let me tell you something else. Now, the then Missouri State Attorney General, Josh Hawley, came down and had the sheriff arrested and removed. But then on Wednesday, January in Washington, D.C., when them white supremacists was breaking inside of the White House, Josh Hawley, the same one that had him arrested, the sheriff arrested in 2017, he ran for senator and became senator, and he had his fists up like this here, y'all, saying it was like it was a normal day in Washington, D.C. If it was a normal day in Washington, D.C. then, it was a normal day with what's going on in this jail now, y'all. Wake up! Why don't you think these people ain't coming to this jail, and why don't you think the leaders ain't coming in speaking up about it? I'm gonna tell you why they ain't speaking up about it. Because it's ran on racism. It's ran on deputy sheriffs that gang bang black individuals inside of here. I'm gonna leave for now. Peace be still.